Hey YouTube, we're going to be looking at my Gravekeepers deck, and it's a pretty run-of-the-mill deck. It's not anything really out of the ordinary. Run most of your run-of-the-mill Gravekeeper cards, so let's just dive right into it. Start out with monsters. Run 3 Commandant. He looks like Anubis. But he's really important because he gets out a very important card for Gravekeepers called Necro Valley. And what you can do, you can just discard this guy from your hand and get a Necro Valley from your deck and add it to your hand. So he's really essential, so I run 3 of him. Plus he's at 1600 attack. When Necro Valley's on the field, he's at 2100 beater, so he's pretty good. Next I have 3 Descendants, and he's a really good card because when Necro Valley's on the field he's 2000, but usually there's a couple cards that can search him out, and you can use his effect to tribute a card and destroy one of your opponent's monsters, so he's pretty good for wiping the opponent's field. Next I have 2 Assailants. And I heard they were stupid and no one likes them, but I think they're cool, especially against big XYZ monsters with low defense, because you can turn them around into defense position and attack them. And he's at 2000 when Necro Valley's on the field, so 1500 originally. He's pretty good. Next is probably my favorite monster in the deck is Guard, and I have 2 of them. I'm thinking about 3 of them, especially when Solemn Warning's down to 1. Basically, he's a flip card, and he's got 1900 defense, but he's at 24 whenever Necro Valley is on the field. So set him in defense, flip, sends their XYZ monster or whatever monster you want back to the hand. So he's really, really good. Next I have 3 Recruiters. They are one of the search teams in the deck. Basically, whenever you control this card, if he is sent to the graveyard while you control him, you get to search your deck for another Gravekeeper monster with 1500 or less defense and add them to your hand. He's especially good whenever you don't have a Necro Valley on the field. You can, when he's destroyed, he goes to the graveyard and you get one of these Anubises out of your deck. That way you can discard him and get a Necro Valley. So they're pretty good. That's one of our search teams. Next search team is Spy. I have 3 of those, mainly because she has really, really good defense. She's already at 2000 defense, so when Necro Valley is on the field she's 25, so most things that run into it get burned. So when she's flipped, you get to special summon a monster with 1500 or less attack, so it's good for getting out Commandant or Recruiter. That way it'll help you get rid of monsters on the other side of the field. Or you can XYZ them. That's all the monsters. Next I go to my spells. Main spell of the deck, Necro Valley. Basically, Necro Valley says you can't get things from your graveyard. So this hurts a lot of decks, considering a lot of decks really rely on the graveyard and special summoning from the graveyard and things like that, or Monster Reborn or things that are like Reborn. Especially against heraldic decks, they pretty much solely rely on the graveyard. So this card is really bad for them. Also, it boosts up all the Gravekeeper monsters by 500 attack, so that's really good too. Next spell I run is Royal Tribute. Everyone hates this card, especially when Necro Valley's on the field. you activate this spell, and it basically, every monster your opponent controls gets put in the graveyard. And thanks to Necro Valley, they can't get them back. So this card really hurts a lot of decks. And you want to make sure you don't have any monsters in your hand when you do this. Otherwise, you won't have any monsters. But if you do have monsters in your hand, and they end up going to the graveyard, you have Gravekeepers Stele, and I'm not really sure if that's how you pronounce that. I'll let you look at it. Looks like steel or stele. We'll just say stele. With stele, you can activate it while Necro Valley's on the field and get back 2 of your cards to your hand, 2 of your Gravekeepers to your hand. Even though your opponent may not be able to get monsters back from their graveyard, you can, because it's unaffected by Necro Valley. Then the rest are pretty run-of-the-mill spell cards. I got 2 Pot of Dualities, and they're good to get Necro Valley if you have nothing else to get it out with, or whatever you might get with your Pot of Duality. Sometimes you get another Pot of Duality. Got a Monster Reborn. It's essential in pretty much every deck. Heavy Storm, Dark Hole, MST, and Allure of Darkness, because pretty much every Gravekeeper card is dark except for Commandant. He is Earth. Okay, last is the traps. They're pretty run-of-the-mill also. I have 2 Torrential Tributes, 2 Solemn Warning for a very short period of time, Solemn Judgment, a Compulsory, Dimensional Prison, Bottomless Trap Hole, Mirror Force, and the last one I run is Starlight Road. I could run more, but I decided just to use 1 because 1's good. And basically, for those of you who don't know what Starlight Road does, if 2 or more of your cards would be destroyed, you can flip this and negate the destruction of those cards and destroy that card that did all the destructing, and then you would special summon Stardust Dragon. So it's a pretty good trap card. Extra deck, I have the Stardust Dragon that you just saw, just 1, because I only run 1 Starlight Road, so there's really no point in running another one. My favorite rank 4 XYZ Kachi Kochi Dragon. It's because he's awesome and you get to attack twice with him, or you get the option to if you destroy a monster by battle. I have Abyss Dweller and a Shockmaster. I don't get him out very much, but he's really good when I can get him out. 2 Utopias. Gymnite Pearl for when I can't get over anybody else's monsters. A Pappy. And then I have some rank 3s. Acid Golem for emergencies only. A Tempo. I got 2 Zen Mines, however you say it. And 3 Leviathan Dragon.